tons of different ways to cosplay. There's no right and wrong way. You might have a cosplayer who makes a look from head to toe. Everything's from scratch. They made the patterns, they sewed it. You might have cosplayers who buy pieces of clothing and they alter it. And then there's also a ton of online resellers who sell really amazing costumes. There's just so many opportunities out there to get into it. So it's a lot easier than most people think.
So actually this is my first Evo, so I wanted to make it special by cosplaying as the character that I love, and this is actually the first fighting game I got into, Street Fighter 6. So I was like, why not?
So for me, I would say my favorite personal cosplay is obviously Beerus. It's a character that I love so much, and the community has just been so warm and receptive to the costumes. This is my second Beerus costume. I have his default outfit that people just seem so happy to see, and I just really love making costumes that make people happy. I'm so passionate about it, just always pushing myself to get better and just learn more along the years.
Oh, you already know, baby. I'm cosplay as Leroy Smith from Tekken 7, and why do I like him? Because he's the coldest mofo in all of Tekken 7. Shout out to Harada for making this character. You know what you did, bro. You was in your bag.
To be honest with you, I feel like fighting game developers, their character design is so top tier. Because I feel like for fighting games, you have to have characters be flashy and be colorful. And I really think that's what appeals to cosplayers, is just having like a really cool look and a really cool flair. And I think a lot of anime fighting games kind of tie into that. So you get like a lot of anime cosplayers who might get drawn into cosplaying at fighting game events. When I first cosplayed at a major, I think it was just myself and my one friend were the only cosplayers. And it was very much like, oh man, I'm not sure if we're supposed to be here. But over the years, yeah, I feel like the cosplay community has realized like there's a really good community at fighting game events and at majors, and it's very warm and welcoming to cosplayers. And I just think people are starting to realize like, oh, cosplay is a thing, you can cosplay at these events. And I think it's just drawing people in, because I love anime conventions and I love going to them, but personally as a cosplayer, I was burnt out. So cosplaying at majors like Combo Breaker and CEO, it's kind of like rejuvenated my passion for this craft, because there's so many amazing cosplayers showing up, and I think it's because we've just established a cosplay community within the FGC that's just warm and welcoming, and it's like, yeah, you can cosplay here, like it's cool. Even just today being Friday, compared to how many cosplayers were here at Evo Saturday last year, that number has tripled. So I just think it's just word of mouth, and people are realizing, you know, this is a really cool event to cosplay at. So it makes me very happy to see so many cosplayers here.
I'm new to fighting games, so like, she's a pretty beginner-friendly character, and I just like really grew to love her.
Well, everyone, welcome to the finals of Evo 2023 Cosplay Contest! Woo!
When you go to events, you might see there's costume contests, which are just a fun way to, like how everybody else competes here playing games, cosplayers compete with our work. Basically, you get judged by a panel of judges. They look over your work, your costumes. They might review your progress, and it's really just competing based on your craftsmanship and your skill. There's different awards and different categories, but it's definitely quite an exhilarating feeling to win. It's just a really good way to kind of bring the community together.
I mean, Evo is the biggest show ever. It's where everybody comes to throw down, and what better place than the world's biggest stage to show off your boy Leroy Smith.
So competing in cosplay is just, you kind of have to change with the times. If people are 3D printing, you got to look into 3D printing. If people are doing wigs a specific way, you have to look into it. You have to keep upgrading your game, upgrading how you do your work. And that's kind of how we compete with each other, is solely based on craftsmanship.
Our grand prize winner is Rhinoceros Rex as Chun-Li.
I am in shock, in tears, but that could be the dehydration. So this is Chun-Li's design from Street Fighter 6. You know, Chun-Li, she's been like the fighting girl, kicking girl all throughout the centuries. But when I saw this, I thought she was a grown woman. And, you know, I'm at that point in my life where I'm kind of in that same situation of growing up. And I just had this feeling that this was the design for me. It's definitely all the blue designs. So I really wanted the blue on the leggings to match the blue on the dress. And, you know, I had the fabric, so why not do an iron-on vinyl cutter type situation? It jammed up my vinyl cutter. So you know what I had to do? Cut everything by hand. I probably drew this design 3 times, on the mock-up, on the pattern paper, then on the iron-on. And then I had to hand place everything one at a time to make it all line up. And also, again, she's a full woman. I am like 1/64th scale of a woman. It was really hard to get everything proportioned down to my front panel size.
So for me personally, as far as the future of cosplay goes, I definitely want to see more contests. I think having costume contests at majors is a great thing. It really shows cosplayers that the events care about their costumes and the community. I definitely want to see just more cosplayers showing up to events. We've got a really great community that we're building here, so I'm really excited just to see more people show up and just to get it bigger, get cosplayers on stage, giving out medals, cosplayers, walking out players, just make the cosplayers feel like more welcome in the community than they already do. And I think we're getting there. I think we're on the right track. So I really think for me, I just would love to just see cosplay like go to the next level at these events.